talking resurrections of actors. And legally, it falls into an area that is so new that the law has, to the best of our research, never once considered. As it sits right now, theoretically, there doesn't seem to be anything stopping me from creating a lifelike render of James Dean in 3 years and using him to host a show, or star in my next movie, or whatever. And the copyrights for the original images that I'm feeding into the machine to produce my James Dean bot don't seem to matter either. At least they don't seem to matter to Disney. In the behind-the-scenes documentary for The Mandalorian, the visual effects artist for ILM admitted that they had searched the internet for any and all high-quality interviews that they could find of Mark Hamill from the 80s.
There was a moment where I even scoured the internet and found older interviews and that of Mark Hamill.
Makes me feel good that Disney basically does the same thing that our editors do for this show to pull our assets. Anyway, if those teams over at Disney use that footage in their deepfakes, they sure didn't credit any of the interviews they used. Believe me, I checked, sat through The Mandalorian's credits and read every single name. Nothing. In short, as people die and their right to publicity expires, it's starting to look like you could create an archive of famous actors. All used for free, all waiting in their refrigerated underground robot bunker. Or computer server, but I think underground bunker is the cooler image. Waiting to be rolled out to shill for the latest vacuum cleaner and chocolate bar. The only thing that could possibly protect him at this point is trademark, maybe. But right now it all hinges on one woman, Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe was the it girl of Hollywood back in the 50s and early 60s. She was a pop icon and sex symbol, the definition of the blonde bombshell. The woman who single-handedly redefined what celebrity meant with iconic movies like Gentlemen Prefer Blondes and Some Like It Hot. And like James Dean, she too died prematurely at the age of 36. But what makes her important in this discussion is that though she died in Los Angeles, California, she was a resident of the state of New York at the time, a state that historically didn't have any right to publicity protections. That meant that as soon as she tragically passed away, it was open season on the usage of her likeness. So her estate turned to trademarks, trademarking her name in order to protect the Marilyn Monroe brand. And at this point, it's something that most celebrities are doing to ensure extra safeguards around their business. Justin Bieber, Rihanna, Kim Kardashian, all of them trademarked. Speaking of the Kardashians, Kylie Kardashian actually had a lot of problems registering various trademarks around her name because other people beat her to the punch. A clothing trademark named Kylie and Kylie Minogue, contesting the name Kylie Cosmetics. The Kardashians eventually won both of those because of course they did, but you know. Anyway, Marilyn Monroe had the same protection, but in 2017, the trademark was contested as being too generic. After all, how can you possibly trademark just a name? So after 2 years of back and forth in 2019, a judge ruled that the trademark still stood, but also didn't rule on the nuances of the case, what the actual extent of those protections are. So nuances of the case are still being hammered out, we'll see. So what does all of this mean for my new movie starring the celebrity Marilyn Monroe? Well, because the law hasn't caught up to modern technology, it should mean that I can use her image and her voice in a film